Welcome to our channel, A Home That Heals. I'm Bree.
And I'm Dee, and I'm mom, and she's daughter, and I'm grandma, and she's mom of our little clan. And we're here today on the 4th of July to wish you a happy 4th of July.
Oh, this is one of my favorite times of the year, especially celebrating with the kids. And we get to enjoy this multi-generational living out here on our little ranch. If you have followed our channel, then you kind of know, like, we've had so many exciting things happen this week. We had a baby alpaca born, and we're sitting here reflecting on the many, many blessings that we have. Most of all, this country that we live in and the freedoms that we enjoy. But I know that you have seen a lot of change over your lifetime.
I have,
and
yeah.
I so want to teach my kids how to love and appreciate their country, but have a healthy love for it, not putting it above God, not putting it above our family. And so do you have some tips? Do you have some ideas and thoughts on that this Independence Day?
I have really been thinking about it a lot in between the baby alpaca and all the other things that have kept our lives so busy the last few days. And one of the thoughts that I had was that the 4th of July, when I was a kid, it still was fireworks and hot dogs and backyard barbecues. It was those things. But it was kind of more holistic. I remember in school, we really talked about it a lot, not just because it was it was a summer thing. So in learning history in school, we talked a lot about the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, really learned that stuff. And so when the 4th of July rolled around, it kind of all came together. It really made sense. And, there's a lot of controversy now over whether or not we have lessened the amount of U.S. history being taught in schools because of things like standardized testing, the focus on STEM, budgetary things. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons you can give to it, but I think people like us need to say, hey, our American history is so important because it's important to the stability of our country, of course, but these traditions and understanding our history is so important to our children's identity. That's something we're talking about a lot now, is our children's identity. And traditions were created to help give us a sense of belonging, to teach. I think mainly to teach. If you look back in the Bible, and we could call them traditions or rituals that are in the Old Testament, for example, but meant to pass on to generations the stories, the truths that God wanted them to know generation through generation through generation. But I wonder if we've left out the teaching part somehow. And okay, let's not talk about public education. Let's talk about our families, because I'm guilty. I didn't sit down with you guys and say, okay, kids, let's learn about the 4th of July and what it really means. Do you remember me ever doing that?
Not really, but I remember you talking about it. Again, we refer to that verse so much in the Bible along the way, and I do remember you talking about it.
Well, I think I did along the way.
Sitting down with
Yeah,
us.
I was going to say, because I've always been I've just been such a patriotic person. I love our country, and I love what it stands for, and I love its history. So yes, hopefully I did do it along the way. But I wish I'd been a little bit more intentional. Now, you guys have both grown up to be very patriotic. You love your country. You are passing it along to your children. So I wanted to ask you, as a mom, growing up in this time when the flag, such a beautiful flag, something we're so identified with, but I feel like in the last maybe 5-10 years, it's become a political symbol as much as a symbol of our country's amazing story and our blessings as Americans. And so I just wonder what it's like for you trying to raise kids in that. Is that something that you're having to really think about and try to focus on maybe more than I had to?
Maybe more than you had to. I think, a lot of it is you have to shut off the noise, the outside noise. To us, the flag, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic. So we're pledging allegiance to the fact that we have control. We have freedom. We have say. We have something that no other country has. And so in a sense, we're pledging allegiance to ourselves. And not this higher government authority or this dictatorship that lords over us. And so I love teaching my kids that, that this is a freedom that people died for, that people all across the world would would love to have a voice in who represents them and in the policies made, and that policies are important and the people we elect are important, even if they aren't the people we would have chosen, and that we can get involved, and that is a gift. So I do think it's changed, and that there isn't this, like, the country does not come above us. You're talking about identity. Our identity is in Christ and in Christ alone. That is first and foremost where our identity is. But the Bible also talks about that God establishes our borders. He establishes where we live. So when he established my borders here in the United States of America, and not to mention this state that I love so much, I am grateful for that. Yeah. I am thankful to him.
He dumped blessing on us.
He did.
Absolutely. We are so grateful.
So I don't want to just shove that to the wayside and complain and not take time and take the opportunity to appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one last thing. There's a lot of resources out there. Last night my son and I actually watched a Mike Rowe video just on the American flag and going back to Boston, which I've always wanted to go visit Boston. I think that would be awesome. And I haven't ever been back there, but I loved learning a little bit more history than I had learned before. And so there's so many just neat videos that people have put out about our flag, about our country, the history. I think the history, we used to always growing up, I learned about the main, heroes and heroines of history. Now there is so much documentation, and people are putting forth the effort of creating, blogs and videos and things like that to document American heroes that I never heard about growing up, that I get to pass on to my kids. So I love that. Dig deep, dig into these people that just, when you read their stories, you can't help but be grateful for where we are today, to where we went, and to know that if we continue to turn back to God, we continue to look toward his ways, that our country can get better. Our country can move forward. Our country can... God is awesome, and he can do a miracle. He can do a mighty work.
He can heal our land, but we do have to ask him. We have to ask for forgiveness. We have to ask for help. We need help. I don't think I talk to anybody who doesn't agree that our country seriously needs help from above. The end of the Pledge of Allegiance is one nation under God. It puts it all in perspective at the end of the Pledge of Allegiance. And we feel like and believe that is the key to everything, and teaching that to our children. The 4th of July is a great tradition, and tradition should help us, give us a reason to teach our children about these things. So maybe even just doing the Pledge of Allegiance and talking about those key words that say so much about who we are and why we are grateful to be Americans. I'm grateful to be your neighbor.
We have the best neighbors.
Do we, though? We have such great neighbors, such great friends on our channel and on our podcast. And so we want to wish you a happy 4th of July. And we'd love to hear what you're thinking about as you celebrate tonight with your family.
Yeah, drop some comments. Share your traditions that you do. Let's help each other build a 4th of July that is filled with wonderful traditions and passing on history. And we'd love for you to subscribe and share this with your friends. We are going to continue showing cute baby alpaca videos, as well as just talking about the things that help heal our home, those God-given, simple but profound ways that he heals us and heals our family.
Simple ideas, deeply understood. I think that's what we really stand for too. So nothing too difficult to understand, sometimes difficult to embrace. But we're working on it together, aren't we? And thanks for being with us.